Hello, this is Edwin Dearborn. How are you? We're in another edition of Caffeinated Content where we talk about great business ideas over a hot cup of coffee. And yes, we are live. Real live things happen while I do the show. And today I'm in Magnum Coffee in fabulous Las Vegas. And I want to talk about strategy. Last night I ran a mastermind group here in Las Vegas with about 25 attendees. And I shared with them the basics of strategy. Now, I know that to many people, strategy seems to be an esoteric term. I don't really need it. Has nothing to do with me. That's for big companies. Why would I need a strategy? I'm just a small guy. Well, I'm going to tell you why you need a strategy. Because a strategy, when done well and simply, allows you to focus on what's important to make progress, as well as allowing you to assess what you have so you can find out what you can do to find out what you can be. Interesting. Be do have. Absolutely. Strategy. So what is strategy? Strategy is really the intelligent use of resources in order to achieve an objective or goal. A goal may have several objectives, and strategy is how you put that together. So there's three things that I shared last night that I want to share with you that make up a strategy. Number one, you have to have a definitive goal that can be measured within the physical universe, meaning it's got to have a numerical value. It could be money-based, or it can be production-based. It can be an amount of something. It can be a percentage increase of something, but it's got to be a goal that can be measured numerically and mathematically. That's point number one. Point number two, you have to assess all the available resources that you can use to achieve your goal. This can be people, technology, budgets, finance, connections, relationships, co-branding opportunities, technologies. All of these resources need to be listed that you have access to. This is very critical because one of the reasons why people don't move forward in life is they don't assess what they have, and they only talk about or dream of the things that they don't have. Man, if I only had $1 million. Geez, if I was just as popular as Grant Cardone. Man, if I was just beautiful like Kim Kardashian. They talk about the things they don't have versus assessing the actual resources that they have. And if you don't know what a resource is, look it up in a really good dictionary. And then point number three, what are the bright ideas that are turned into tactical actions of how to use the resources intelligently to reach the goal or objective? So number one is the goal or objective. Number two is the assessment of resources. And number three is the bright ideas of how to use the resources. And those bright ideas are turned into tactical actions, things that you do. For most people, that strategic plan should be no more than just a couple of pages typed. Just a couple of pages. And as I told the individuals last night, once you have this written strategy, then it's a matter of daily execution, doing it over and over and over and over. Persistence is an omnipotent power that when tapped into. So it was very clear to them that if they had a known goal that they could measure themselves against on whether it was being reached or not, number two, had a full assessment of all the resources available to them, and then number three, had bright ideas of how to use said resources and laid those out into tactical actions, and then consistently, persistently executed upon those actions, what would happen? And I asked this, and they said, oh my God, my life would completely change. I would start to see results if I just did those steps. So if you think strategy is only for big corporations or big companies or fancy people with big educations, I can tell you right now, it's not. And when you actually start putting pen to paper or words on a Google Doc, and you really start having an accountability of where you stand, where you go, what you have, and what you can do with what you have, what's going to happen is you're going to have a clear map of what to do. Now it's just a matter of execution. One last point here. Neil Patel, one of my favorite authors, and probably one of the most, well, he's a great marketing expert. He said something very, very enlightening. He's a young man, relatively speaking, and he's had much success in his life. And he was interviewed going, Neil, you're young, yet you've built multiple multi-million-dollar companies. You've had massive success. You've had worldwide recognition. You've been featured in Inc., Entrepreneur, and Forbes. How have you been able to create so much success at such an early age? And I loved his answer. He says, you get 1 point for a really good idea. You get 9 points for writing a plan for your really good idea, and you get 90 points for executing your written plan for your really good idea. It's about execution. And he really put things in perspective. Having a really good idea has almost no value. Yes, it's important, but in the scheme of things, a really good idea, not put down to tactics and executed, is called an hallucination. It never comes to bear fruit. It never happens. But a really good idea with a strategic plan, and that strategic plan is diligently pursued and executed and reiterated and pursued and executed over and over and over, just bullheaded doggedness. Guess what? Success is achieved. Success and profitability are created causatively, proactively, whenever you want. This is why strategy is so important to you and to businesses. Now, if you need help in creating your strategy, you should contact me. I love helping people develop simple yet highly effective strategies when deployed. Hope you found some value of this edition of Caffeinated Content. Again, my name is Edwin Dearborn, author of Power Branding Secrets. Have a great day. Bye-bye.